Hi everyone, and welcome back for Simply English. I hope you've enjoyed previous classes, so you're here again for some more. And I'm going to introduce my guest today. Hi Andrea, hi Yolanda.
Hi.
You're here for the first time, but I bet you've been watching us. And you probably know by now that we've had such lively discussions about hobbies for the previous two lessons. And I even bet that you did your homework too. But before we get there, let me remind you what else we did last week. We talked about hobbies and we activated vocabulary related to hobbies. And then we took quite some time to read text about hobbies around the world. That was a very enriching experience. And in keeping with that discussion, I asked everyone to find out more information about hobbies from different cultures. And it's your turn now. So, which of the two of you would like to start? Maybe Yolanda?
Sure.
All right.
So I wrote about Kenyan beadwork. It is an intricate art form around Kenyan tribes. People skillfully craft colorful bead jewelry and accessories, each design holding cultural significance. Beadwork serves as a way to express identity, celebrate rituals, and convey stories within the community.
Very nice choice. To tell us something about Kenya and what people do there. Kenyan beadwork sounds fun. How about you, Andrea?
Well, I wrote about Russian matryoshka dolls. Matryoshka dolls, also known as nesting dolls, are a beloved Russian craft. These wooden dolls open to reveal a smaller doll inside, symbolizing the concept of family and generations. The artistry and meticulous painting of each doll showcase Russian craftsmanship.
I was quite fascinated by such dolls when I was a child. And so were you, I guess?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have any at home?
Yes, in fact, I have two.
All right. Nice. Thank you. Now, please take a look at this picture. What can you see here? Andrea?
Well, it is a kind of public celebration from what I can see.
Okay, how do we call this? What's there in the sky at night?
I can see a lot of fireworks.
Fireworks. This is what we call them, fireworks. All right, so these people are probably attending a concert or some kind of celebration at the end of which there's this display of fireworks. Thank you. And with this, you've just introduced, Andrea, our topic for today. We'll be talking about celebrations. I'd like us to consider these celebrations: Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, Halloween, and Thanksgiving. These are very popular, and I bet most people have information about them. That's why I'd like us to consider these questions. Yolanda, can you tell me what they have in common? Or maybe if you feel that just two or three of them have something in common, you can mention that, please.
First, all of them are internationally recognized, I guess. Everyone's heard of these holidays. And I guess a few of them, what they have in common is that they're religious of nature.
Which ones? Yeah, you're quite right, but which ones?
Like Christmas and Easter.
All right, whereas Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken, no, actually Halloween has some pagan origins there. All right, good, very good point. Not to mention that all of them bring people together. Andrea, would you consider the next question, the differences among them? What would those be?
Well, all of them gather us together. I think that Valentine's Day is not really meant to be celebrated in family, while the others are.
Very good point. Okay, who do we spend Valentine's with?
Well, usually with our partner, if we have one, or maybe our friends, best friends.
All right, good. And what makes these celebrations fascinating? Maybe we can take each one in turn. What's so fascinating about Christmas? You can refer to your personal experience. Andrea?
Well, I really like the idea of giving presents. I think it's a nice way to celebrate in general.
And
And,
do you...
um, and the decorations and things.
You mentioned giving presents. Is that more important than receiving them?
Well, I like more giving them because seeing someone smile makes me happier than actually receiving a gift.
All right. Yolanda, how about Easter? What's fascinating about this celebration?
Well, at least in Romania, I guess the food. Although I don't eat a lot of the things on the Easter table, the sweets, like the cheesecake, let's call it, is one of my favorite things ever. And also, it's another opportunity for you to spend time with your family, and it's in spring, so it's beautiful outside.
Good, good, good. It gives us the chance to enjoy nature too at the same time. Back to you, Andrea, for Valentine's Day. Is there anything you find interesting, pleasant, nice about it?
Even if it isn't that popular in Romania, I like all the sorts of chocolate that appear in the shops because I really love chocolate.
Yeah, so as a chocolate lover, you appreciate the wide choice you're given during this time. But this happens on the 14th. If I'm not mistaken, on the 24th, we have something similar in our culture. And maybe this is more or less popular than Valentine's, but it's definitely celebrated in our country. How do we call our celebration?
Dragobete, I think.
Excellent. All right, good. Back to you, Yolanda. Is there anything you like about Halloween?
Well, again, Halloween is not necessarily very popular in Romania, only amongst teenagers. But obviously, dressing up is fun. And sometimes people like to tell stories and legends about Halloween. And although I don't remember them right away, I think they're interesting.
Especially because of the chills they give people down their spines when they listen to such scary story, ghost stories most of the times. How about Thanksgiving? Either of you, Andrea?
We don't really have this in Romania, but I like the idea of the whole family gathering around and sharing a big meal together.
And being grateful for something, right? I think there are so many things to be grateful for. First of all, having a secure home, a safe home, enjoying good relationships with our family, with our friends. And of course, there are many, many other things we can be thankful for. And Thanksgiving is about that, appreciating what we have and being rather than having. So being grateful rather than having. Excellent. All right, thank you. Let's practice a bit more vocabulary, which we're going to use later. I'd like us to consider these words: festive, ceremony, ritual, parade, decorate, feast, and traditions, and we'll associate a definition to each one. If it's easier, we can read first of all the first definition and decide which of the words in the first column we should use for this one. Yolanda, will you read the first definition, please?
To add ornaments, colors, or special items to make something look more attractive.
We need a verb here. So which of the words matches this one?
I'd say decorate.
To decorate. Good. Excellent. Andrea, please go on with the next word.
A set of actions or behaviors that have a special meaning. I think it's ritual.
Ritual. Good. I'll write it over here in smaller handwriting. Back to you, Yolanda.
A big and delicious meal usually prepared for a special occasion. I'd say feast.
Feast. Good. Andrea?
It's full of joy, excitement, and happiness. Festive.
Festive. Good. When we describe an event as being festive, it means it's full of joy, excitement, happiness. Thank you. Yolanda?
A custom or way of doing things that is passed down from one generation to another. I think it's traditions.
Excellent. And it's your turn, Andrea.
A formal event that involves rituals or traditions, and this is ceremony.
Quite right about it. And the last one is for you.
A public event where groups of people, often in colorful costumes or with decorated vehicles, march down the street to celebrate something special. And this one is parade.
Parade. Excellent. Parade. We're going to use these words in this exercise. Andrea, it's your turn.
During celebrations, people often decorate their homes, streets, and even themselves.
Excellent. We need a verb, and the verb is to decorate. So people perform rituals, you said. Rituals. During ceremonies. Yolanda, would you try the fourth one?
Sure. People gather to enjoy a feast with family and friends.
People often wear bright colors, put up decorations, and have fun activities during festive times, like holidays and parties.
Right. So Yolanda, can we come back to this one since we need a singular noun?
Then I guess ceremony would fit.
Yes. So a ceremony is often an important part. I mentioned the wedding ceremony. Okay, so that was a sort of a clue. Thank you. And now we'll move on to read short texts about different celebrations around the world. There will be 2 questions to answer after each one. Andrea, will you read this text about Holi and then answer the 2 questions? What is the special occasion being described in this text, and how do people celebrate it in India?
Holi is a colorful and fun festival celebrated in India. People throw colorful powders and water at each other, creating a beautiful mess. It's a time to forgive and forget, and everyone enjoys dancing, singing, and eating sweets. For the first question, the following text describes the celebration of Holi, and people celebrate it by throwing colorful powders at each other and creating a beautiful mess.
Right, so this is the answer to the first question. Holi is the name of this special occasion. How do people celebrate it? You said by throwing colorful powders and water at each other and creating a beautiful mess. All right, Yolanda, it's your turn.
Carnival is a lively and colorful festival that happens in many countries around the world. People wear masks, costumes, and dance in the streets. There are parades with big floats, music, and dancing. It's a time for laughter and celebrating before the Lenten season. So for the first question, the main focus.
What happens? Maybe you can take a look at the picture. This can help you.
Okay, so it's basically parades in the street, colorful and lively. And for the second question, it says at the end of the text, it's a celebration before the Lenten season. So,
do we happen to know what this is, the Lenten season? This celebration takes place during the last day before a certain period of time. It could be a month, it could be a month and a half, when people preparing for a religious celebration like Christmas or Easter are not allowed to eat meat anymore or dairy products. And this is what we call the Lent. So this is their last chance to have fun, to eat meat, because actually the term carnival comes from carne vale, so they were allowed to eat meat. And it's during this celebration. They enjoy music, dancing, eating meat, of course, and other dairy products. And then the next day the Lenten season starts and they won't be allowed to do that anymore. And I wanted to point out one more word which is probably new here, and that would be float. What you can see in this picture is a float. Okay, so on a parade, people prepare these floats. They are very colorful. They might involve some dancing around as well, or people playing instruments, and they are meant to attract people's attention and offer some entertainment. Thank you. Here's one more text.
So Chinese New Year is a big celebration in China and other parts of Asia. It marks the beginning of the Lunar New Year. People clean their homes, wear new clothes, and give red envelopes with money for good luck. There are parades, dragon dances, and lots of yummy food.
Lots of yummy food. Right, so where is this occasion celebrated?
Well, of course, it's mainly in China, but also in other parts of Asia.
Good.
And people give red envelopes for good luck, as a wish of good luck.
So good luck, for good luck. You must have noticed that even if a celebration originates somewhere, like this one in China, it tends to spread to countries around, so other parts of Asia. Now let's find out more about this celebration.
Eid al-Fitr is a special holiday for Muslims. It comes after the holy month of Ramadan, when people fast from sunrise to sunset. On Eid, families come together to pray, share delicious food, and give gifts. It is a time of joy and thankfulness.
Right before this celebration, what happens?
There is the month of Ramadan, when people fast from sunrise to sunset.
Very good. And how do families celebrate it?
They pray, share delicious food, obviously, and give gifts.
Now, if you remember information about all these celebrations, let's decide together whether these statements are true or false. Eid al-Fitr is a holiday celebrated by non-religious people. True or false?
It's false.
False, right. People fast in preparing for this religious celebration and they spend it by praying. All right. Chinese New Year marks the beginning of the solar new year.
It's false. It's the Lunar New Year.
Good. During Holi, people throw colorful powders and water at each other.
This one is true.
And it's probably fun for them to do so. They probably follow some rules. I don't know. Okay, the next one's about Carnival. Carnival is a festival celebrated only in one country.
It's false. It is popular all around the world.
The next one, red envelopes in Chinese New Year are given for good luck.
This one is true.
Yes, indeed. And families come together to pray and share food during Eid al-Fitr.
I think this one is true.
This one's true. Excellent. If you were given the choice of attending any of these celebrations, which one would be your choice? I'm now asking about your preferences. What would your preference be?
I would prefer to attend Holi because it sounds really fun.
And Yolanda, would you join her?
Yes, of course. I'd like to find out how that works out, I guess.
All right. Now, when we want to express preferences in English, we have several options. One of them is by using verbs like, dislike, enjoy, don't enjoy, prefer or don't prefer, love or hate. I would love to join Holly. She dislikes spicy food. They enjoy reading books. I prefer tea over coffee. We love hiking in the mountains. And if we don't want to use these verbs, we have an alternative to it, using would rather, or maybe the negative, wouldn't rather. We usually use this for choices between two things. I would rather stay home tonight. I think I'm a bit tired. She wouldn't rather eat sushi. So given the choice, she wouldn't eat sushi. And there's one more way. of expressing preference, and that would be using a phrase like, one of my favorites is, or one of the things I enjoy is. We say, for instance, traveling is one of my favorite things to do. Pay attention that after one of, the noun should be used in the plural because it's one of many. Dancing is one of the things I enjoy in my free time. And there's a fourth means of expressing preferences, and that would be using I'd rather. I'd rather stay indoors when it's raining. I'd rather is followed by this short infinitive. And this wraps up our whole lesson. I would like you to put everything together in the piece of homework you're about to do. I would like you to write a short text as if it were a journal entry. It should be about a celebration you would like to experience, and it should be from a different culture. Also, you need to include the reason why you're interested in it, as well as aspects that you find appealing. By doing this piece of homework, you will have put together everything we've been discussing today: vocabulary, grammar, and of course have produced a short text. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. It was your first time here. I hope you've enjoyed it and you'll be back here next Monday. Bye, Andrea, and bye, Yolanda.
Bye.
Bye.
As for everyone else back home, I hope you've enjoyed this journey into different cultures. I find it quite fascinating. I am considering doing this next Monday too. Hope you'll join me here. Goodbye.